Welcome everybody. RaceSpec Esports brings you the Hungary Grand Prix. Nearly said that incorrectly, but we are live at the Hungary. 14 races here today in the Elite Series. Good turnout, and I expect this to be a good race. Looks like we have a dry qualifying, which will be exciting. A tricky track where track position is important and qualifying extremely important in Hungary, and that'll be the case today, that is for sure. And while everyone is getting their exit laps done and their out laps done, let's have a look at the driver standings after last week's exciting race. And here we go, F1 Amazing Hour at the top, which has been standard this season. Bullet Boy, he's been challenging in recent weeks and only 2 points now ahead of John Polainen. So that battle is the one we'll be looking at for today. Bullet Boy in the Racing Point against John Polainen in the Haas. Plebs, consistent as always in the Renault. 111 points there. 40 not here today, so he'll be missing out on some points. And then I contrast in the Ferrari on 78 points. Moving over to the constructors standings, and we have Alfa Romeo on top because of that massive haul from Amazing Hour. Tonki chipping in with a few points every now and then himself. Renault gapping Racing Point now, but Racing Point will want to make up a few of those points today, as Renault only have one driver out there. And Bullet Boy in the Racing Point has been racing well, so he will try and get a few more points and peg that back with, we've still got about 8 races left. This is round 12. So a good amount of time for that battle to keep going on during the season. Haas has been catching quite quickly with John Polainen making up some positions. Didn't go well in Germany last week, so they didn't close the gap on the Racing Point this time. But without further ado, let's head back on track and see how qualifying is going at the moment. We've got Tonki on an outlap, Pure Gold on an outlap, and a few others. And I don't know if that popped up on the screen. We just received an invitation from some of the other drivers in RaceSpec. They're doing some practice before the Tier 2 Global Series, which we have for you in about an hour and 45 minutes. But John Polainen on an outlap, and Lewis has joined in the Ferrari as well. He's on an outlap too. So Tonki's first lap will stay with the Alfa Romeo and get the most screen time at the back of the grid. So we'll stick with him here in qualifying in the beautiful pristine all white helmet, making a statement there, matching his car nicely. I contrast has just set a lap though on the hards at 117.7. And a few others just dropping in a few laps on hards. As I said in the opening, stands up. It's a tricky track, Hungary. It's not a lot of places to overtake, but the drivers do like driving here. Very technical and very flowing. So if you do make an error on a corner, often that ruins your next couple of corners and it can cost you a lot of time. So one where you have to concentrate a lot for the entire race. You often feel a bit drained after doing half 50% race here, so I can't imagine what the actual F1 drivers feel after going through this track, because there are so many tricky... Oh, well, Tonki, is he out? Is he able to get that car in reverse? He's moving, so he's still in. So he needs to get back. He was actually on softs there, so that's a bit interesting. The strategy in Hungary is normally a mediums to hards. The tire degradation here is intense, as you can imagine, with so many corners and the lack of straights. The complete opposite of Monza. Gotta get that car back into the pits now. John Polainen has the fastest lap of 1:17.1. We'll take the focus off the Alfa Romeo now. Let's go with John Polainen. He's on the softs as well, so if you guys probably just using the softs, want to keep those mediums and hards intact for later on and for the race, or are we going to see another strategy masterclass from John Polainen in something a little bit different? But in general, these softs do wear heavily the front left tyre is the one that takes the punishment the most. But Romy Alonso in today as well. Let's go over to the McLaren driver. Has jumped in the last few races trying to make up some points for McLaren. He's out there in the hards. Lewis is still in the pits and Stuart McKenzie's still in the pits. They haven't left yet. We did start the race a little bit late. Stuart McKenzie and Lewis being a little bit late. Possibly the only reason we allowed that is because Lewis is similar to Lewis Hamilton, and it's probably the only person they would wait for in real life. If he was a little bit late on his little scooter. Pure gold. Consistent racer always here in the Toro Rosso. At a 1:18 on those hards. Very hard to gauge times at the moment because of those hards and mediums. I've got a yellow flag in sector 2, so someone's either letting someone through or had an incident. We'll bring up the tyres fitted. So no one's on the mediums. Stuart McKenzie's left the session. Has he crashed? Or he may be back. I don't think he would have crashed. It is possible. He hasn't set a time yet, so that'll put him at the back of the grid if he has. Which would be concerning. There's Stuart there in the Red Bull as jumper line, and no, a trick of the light. It's actually Bullet Boy set a good lap there at 1:17.1. Amazing hour, 1:17.3 on the hards. Jumper line are not that much quicker on the softs, which is interesting. They're probably just getting a sido, not right on the limit. But unless he can better that time on mediums, he's going to be starting on softs. It'll be interesting in itself. Still out on the track, has done a... This is on an outlap, so he's on another set of softs. So he is definitely going with an alternate strategy here. If he's going to set a blistering time on those soft tyres, wanting to be at the front of the grid. We did say track position was important, so being at the front would be the strategy that he's going for today. He will have to pit ahead of others, but the undercut can also be quite powerful here on the newer tyres. It's all about grip. And personally, I've had a little trouble finding a good setup for this track, and you have to find that balance between racing well in the middle of the track with all those twists and turns, keeping the downforce up, so you often run a high downforce, but where people will get you is on this straight. If they can get a good exit around this corner that John Pollinen's going on now, and they can pass you here, it's very difficult to pass you back until this straight again. And if you don't have that straight line speed because you've set a high downforce setup, it can be very difficult to overtake here. Now, increasingly at the start, as they do form a queue and everyone gets a bit of DRS until they start to gap out. The boy is in the pits, but it looks like he could be fitting mediums. And Shumbo is also in the pits, possible mediums. And there's Amazing Hour coming into the pits. And Miku set a good lap on those hards as well at 1:17.6. So quite pacey at the moment. Plebs still no lap, keeping his powder very dry. We're still in the pits, he might be having a few issues. I don't know if Stuart's going to be back for the race. It's very unfortunate. Aaron came into the series a few races ago, going quite well there, 9th. And he's been racing quite well, having some great battles with some of the other drivers. John Polinen goes bang, 1:16.3 on those softs, so that is definitely his strategy. He is going to start the race on softs, high up on the grid as he can. Drivers are out there at the moment. Our Contrast has done 2 laps, so this is probably going to be his flying lap. go on board with our contrast. You don't want to touch those white curves on the inside. For those who haven't, he's going into the pits. For those who haven't driven in Hungary very often, or are a bit inexperienced here, or a new watcher to the series, welcome. You don't want to touch those inside white curbs, so not the ripple strips with the red and white. They're generally okay unless you're accelerating hard off them, you won't get much traction, but you do touch the white curbs without the red, they're very skinny. Your car will go straight around, they're extremely slippy. So you must stay clear of those. The main corners there are sort of turn 4, and 3 or 4 around there. If you touch those ones, you'll go around, but you generally don't need to. Where they are, you don't need to go too close. Turn 2's got them as well, but you don't need to. There's lots of different lines you can take in Hungary. Go with Plevs, and Plevs is now set at 117.7 on those hards after coming out. Sitting in the pits quite a long time before getting out on track, but see it on the inside there of that last corner there. And he's going to come back in, probably to put some mediums on and set his time. But he does have one on the board in 7th, so not too bad. And Andre's out on mediums, and he's setting a lap now, so he'll want to get himself up the placings here, right up the grid, because currently he's in 13th, which is not great for the Williams driver. Let's stay on board, see how he goes on this lap. Let's just listen. Tricky left-hander here, you can lose it. Does it nicely. You go too fast through there, you can end up with your nose in that left-hand wall because your back steps out. And this chicane is very tricky as well. Those bumps are very high. Very nicely, very smooth, and that's the key to this track. Nice and smooth. Flat out through that corner. Little lift on this corner to make sure you stay on the track. Plenty of throttle on the exit. Coming up to the end of the track now, the last 3 corners here. Quite well, you can take a few lines into this corner, some go right wide to make sure they don't touch that. You can accelerate out if you go wider and take a late apex. This is tricky as well, you want to go down to 3rd, up 4th, lose some wheel spin. Some people change to 5th a bit earlier to make sure they don't get wheel spin out of that one. But let's see, he's set a 117.7, so he's put himself up into 7th. It's not too bad. Romy Alonso's out on the track now as well on the mediums. And this looks like his lap. We'll go on board with Romy Alonso now in the McLaren. He's near the end of his lap, so we'll stay on board till he goes over. Fifth early, very early change. So you see the difference between the two drivers there. Some changing late, some midway through the corner, and he sets a 116.8, so he's 3rd on the grid at the moment in those mediums. Expect some times to tumble before the end of qualifying. Currently 3 minutes 50 left. Bliner's on an outlap on another set of softs, so this will be his full complement. See who else is out on the track who needs to improve. Bullet Boy down there in 5th. Based on his previous showings, he won't be too happy with that. Amazing Hours on an outlap as well. He won't be happy down in 4th. Go on board Bullet Boy, he's near the end of his lap. Getting a lot of inside curve there. And in a second, accelerating out of 3rd. Wide exit. So you're going to be able to do, it's a 116.4 on mediums. So jump a line and a fraction ahead of him on softs, but that is a fast lap on those mediums. Lewis in the softs, he's back into the pits. Got Romy Alonso. Plebs is still in the pits as well, so he's leaving it quite late. Let's go on board with Amazing Hour here. He's on his lap, so this is his lap. Possibly put himself on pole. No, he's still keeping his ERS, so he's going to wait till the very last lap. Which wears mediums down a little bit, but it won't make too much of a difference. Probably Alonso moves himself up a little bit. Miku moved himself up to 116.5 on the mediums. Lebs is on an outlap now, and Pure Gold's on an outlap as well, so they both want to improve. Jumbo's in the pits, still behind El Tonki, so it looks like he'll have to settle for 13th. No, he's on an outlap now, he's coming out on the mediums. He'll want to get himself up a few places. Aaron, not really showing us what he showed us in a few of the earlier races, and he's down in 11th. And here we go, on board with Amazing Hour now, starting his flying lap. Very smooth there when he exited the hairpin. Tricky left-hander, let's see how he takes it. Oh, a little bit of curb, nicely done. Very stable through there. You see a lot of drivers struggling, fighting with the car through there. And this is a tricky chicane. Little bit of curb, little bit of curb, nicely done. He does have a Ferrari ahead of him. Lewis lets him go through. I like the sound of the Alfa Romeo in this one. And this is not looking bad here. Very nice lap, no real mistakes that we could speak of. And what's that going to be? Second, just ahead of Bullet Boy, so close at the moment. Polina went faster again at 116 flat, so that explains his a bit more. Who else have we got? Plebs, he's in 11th, he doesn't want to be in 11th. He's going to have to get himself up the grid. Stay with the Renault driver now. Last couple of corners. Aaron got himself up into 6th while we're watching that as well, which is good for him. And a little bit of a wheel lock there. He's locked them up, coming around. Is it going to be good enough? It's 5th, good enough for 5th. Lewis is still on his lap here through the chicane. Can he get himself above 6? He's on the softs, so you'll want him to get himself further up if he's going to start on softs. He doesn't want to be on 6th. He's the last one, along with Pure Gold and Shumbo. Jumbo's out there. This is his fast lap, so interesting between these two. Going to happen here. So we're going to see Shumbo go across the line in front of us as well, and then Lewis. Shumbo gets himself above El Tonki. Lewis gets himself on the front row with those softs, as we would expect. Nicely done. That is the end of qualifying. And we see our front row, John Polainen and Lewis on the soft tyres, so they'll want to get away to a really good start on those softs. Then we have Amazing Hour, Bullet Boy up there, Miku, then Plebs, Aaron, Romy Alonso, Pure Gold, I Contrast down a little bit further than he would like today in 10th, Andre, Shumbo in the Mercedes, and El Tonki rounds it out. I don't know if Stuart will be able to get back for the race, so he may not be racing today. It's a little bit unfortunate, but 13 drivers is still going to put on a show for us here in Hungary, that's for sure. And that hairpin at the start of the race will be very interesting, very easy to get shunted out wide or even lose a front wing there. But we will be back very shortly for the start of this race. And welcome back. This is the start of the formation lap. Don't get too excited. Just a formation lap at the moment. Everyone getting their tyres ready and their brakes ready. So crucial to a lot of this online racing and real racing, this formation lap. A lot of people take it for granted, but need those tyres up to temperature, those brakes up to temperature, especially in Hungary with that hairpin. You want your car to be stopping and you want your car to be turning. And if you do not do this lap properly, that's not going to happen, and you'll probably end up with damage or losing positions in the race, which neither thing you really want. Good spread of cars here. Just recapping our qualifying, Jumpalainen and Lewis on the front row of the grid in soft tyres, so strategy is going to be interesting there. Jumpalainen always one to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, and he's pulled it off a few times. Very Jensen Button-esque of Jumpalainen, that's for sure. Amazing Hour in third. Always gets a great start. It'll be interesting to see if he can do the same here today. Bullet Boy close to Amazing Hour, which is good to see. A lot of the times either one of them has had to fight back and challenge the other in a race. Let's see if they can fight for the entire race close to each other today. Miku with really good pace in the Williams. And Plebs doing a nice job there as well in the Renault. Aaron, our newer driver, just proving himself again in 7th. Very nice. Romy Alonso having a great comeback to the series at the moment in the McLaren. This is coming now to the start of the race at the Hungary. I hope you enjoy today's race. I certainly will. I can get a good view from the front if we can. Hopefully it flicks over. We can watch the start from the front. Not gonna get a good start from the front. Alright, 2 lights, 3 lights, 5 lights. And they're out. They held him a long time. And here we are at the front. We've got a lot of wheel spin. Miku in the Williams, but the Ferrari's got a great start. Jumpalainen's also got a good start, and they're going to go into formation here. Romy Alonso trying to find a way through, isn't able to. And Bullet Boy's going to stay on the inside of that Amazing Hour in the Alfa Romeo, and he's could hold this position here. Going to go wheel to wheel, another few corners. Amazing Hour trying to hold that 3rd position. But it looks like the front row of the grid's gotten off in formation, which is really good for them on the soft tyres. Oh, very wide Romy Alonso. Holds it together. You saw that in the background. Could lose some positions there, but oh, really well done to hold that car, because it looked like he was going straight for the wall. It would have hard in mouth for him there. Aaron has had a great start in the Red Bull. He's up into 4th position. Bullet Boy's had an issue there. He's down into 5th. Miku's holding position in 6th and Plebs in 7th. So, mate, Aaron has had a brilliant start at the moment. Very well done. Romy Alonso in 8th. He's somehow held onto that car. That was a real moment there for Romy Alonso. We'll just catch our breath. And Aaron goes very wide on that corner. We see the nice aerial view going right around the 2nd last corner. And as Jumpalainen, our race leader at the moment, him and Lewis will want to get away from these medium tyres that are following them and hopefully gap them so that when they pit, they're in a really good position to come back at them. As Lewis all over the back of Jumpalainen, he possibly wants to go a little bit faster than what Jumpalainen is at the moment. But Amazing Hour has held that 3rd position, done quite well. Bullet Boy lost the position and he needs to get past that Red Bull and stick to the back of Amazing Hour if he can. Looking further down the grid, all looks okay with the other drivers. They seem to be fairly much in formation. We'll just switch over to the position change, and as we can see, not too much going on in the position change. The real winner at the start of this race was Aaron in the Red Bull, that is for sure. He's managed to pass Bullet Boy, Miku and Plebs. A great start from him. By contrast, he's got past Pure Gold, but other than that, we are as we were. And this highlights how important it is to have track position on this track. I mean, we can't say it enough. It is very hard to pass here, and as we can see, no real overtaking moves apart from the hustle and bustle at the start of this race. Everyone is slotted into their spots, and Field DRS opens on this straight, it could be quite difficult for someone to make a move. Good thing though is that if you do make a move at the front here, you often get wheel to wheel for the next few corners while the person who's been overtaken fights back. People with white helmets today, just a casual observation there as well. Lewis has got the white helmet in the Ferrari. For some reason we had a blue light flashing last time. Line and controlling this race out front, and needs to control his tyres as well. Interesting to see what lap these two at the front pit on. It is a strategy you would have need to have practiced to know when those softs are slower than the mediums or hards. I expect you could be thinking of going hards, softs than the hards, going the entire race. I don't know if a two-stopper works here. You'd have to have some rapid pace, especially in this field, to make a two-stopper work. And let's go down there. We've got a yellow flag. Gold's had an issue, and it looks like he's got some front wing damage, so he's had an issue. He's gone back. El Tonki Shumbo made up some places there. As we go back to the middle of the field here, Bullet Boy and a few people trying to make some moves up the front. Amazing how we're having a look at Lewis there. Bullet Boy's gotten past Aaron. Is Aaron able to come back? Not at the moment, so Bullet Boy's taking that position. And Gold's retired. That's disappointing. Very disappointing to retire from this race. He could have fought back, could have got some valuable points for Toro Rosso. Aaron now under threat from Miku. You can see them very close to each other. And the pink helmet, Miku, having a look at him. Quite spaced out after these, sort of after plebs here. After plebs, they get spaced out. We'll go to the front as they come round onto the straight in a moment. It's amazing how he's managed to get past Lewis. Oh, pushes him off a little bit there. Hard racing from those two. Locks up. Lewis locks up. Bullet Boy's going to have a look around the outside. No, he's not. Get himself set up. Maybe make an overtake on the straight here. And he does. He goes very wide, Lewis. Oh, he's in all sorts. Now he's under pressure from Aaron, who wants to go past him as well. Bullet Boy, oh, cuts in front. Close racing from these threes. Wants to hold his position. Bullet Boy, oh, and Aaron pushing up on the inside. Bullet Boy was a bit too worried about Lewis, not looking for where Aaron is, and he's slotted in. Miku having a look at Lewis as well. He's gone on the inside. Oh, are they touching there? Very close to each other. Lewis is falling down the auto and all sorts here. He's not going so well at all. Does he have a bit of damage? Is that why he's falling back, or are those softs falling off a cliff already? He's having a look at Miku again. It doesn't look like he's got damage. He's going to have a go on the inside here. And everyone, all of a sudden, on lap 5 has got very racy. Put those elbows out now. Aaron doing well. Took real advantage. Nearly got Bullet Boy as well on the double move. A lime green and purple helmet there. Hands out quite a bit. Lewis, big loser there. He's gone for a second, down in the 6th. Almost just couldn't regain it. And we talk about how if you take a bad exit, a bad entry onto one corner, it ruins your next few. And it looked like everyone just grabbed him as his next few corners were all out of shape. And Lewis, did he go into the pits? Lewis is in the pits. Let's stay with Lewis for the moment just to see if he does change his front wing or if those tyres are just gone for him and he's going to have to make that call now. Amazing how I got the move done on John Polone at the end of that straight there. No wing damage, so he's just coming back out. And amazing how now we're going to try and race away from Bullet Boy. Bullet Boy's going to want to get it past John Polone, and I think those soft tyres are cooked. I think they are done. Aaron, it's a 3-second time penalty. Not good for the Red Bull driver. And they are nothing to be sniffed at, those 3-second penalties. They can cost you quite a bit, as we saw in Germany. Bullet Boy would have had the win, but he got that last 3-second penalty on the last couple of laps. That was an exciting race, which is looking similar to this one, as this one has been quite exciting. A lot of moves being done. And definitely these two at the front on the soft tyres have made that happen. And Bullet Boy all over John Polainen now. Is John Polainen going to come into the pits? No, he's going to go out another one. And we do have yellow in sector 2 and 3. What has happened further back in the field? Oh, Tomke's been passed by Lewis. Let's stay here though, because Bullet Boy is going to look at making a move on John Polainen. Is he going to be able to cut back underneath him? John Polainen defends really well, holding that position. Bullet Boy's going to get the other side of the corner here. Oh, John Polainen, has he touched it? I think he's touched his front. His front wing may have touched the rear left of Bullet Boy there. Hopefully not a puncher for Bullet Boy. It doesn't look like it. Hopefully not some damage there for John Polainen, otherwise that'll cost him time in the pits as well. Aaron still tagged onto the back of this. We've got a little bit of a queue going on here. EQ, Plebs. We've got a gap after Plebs to Romy Alonso, so this is the main part. Is we've got a yellow in sector 2. What's that for? Are we able to find out? I think we will. Lewis has come out on medium, so he's looking at a 2-stopper on those mediums now, which is very interesting strategy from Lewis. I get the feeling that John Polainen wants to go onto the hards. That's why he's still out there, but he's losing ground as Aaron now is having a look at him as well. And a nice aerial view there of Aaron getting on the inside of John Polainen. He's going to hold this position. John Polainen might try and cut back. Not able to at the moment. We're going to see him come around the corner now, and Aaron's got that position, so John Polainen is falling back in the field. And he's got to have to make a call soon, as Lewis is setting fastest laps on those medium tyres. Let's go to a few races we haven't seen much from. Oh, Miku going quite wide there. We've got Miku and Plebs. Plebs hasn't been able to make any ground on Miku, but they're eyeing off John Polainen now as well. Oh, and he's had a big moment, Miku. Huge moment, and he's spun out. He's just reset himself on the track. But a big moment for Miku, and Andre's going to try and get past his teammate as well. That's lost him a huge... Oh, Miku's... No, Andre has gone wide, probably put off by his teammate there. He's gone very wide. Can Plebs get past John Polainen? John Polainen's going in the pits. The Plebs, they're up into 4th, divisional 4th at the moment. Bullet Boys are 1.5 seconds behind Amazing Hour. Let's see what tyres John Polainen comes back out onto. I'm very curious. Mediums as well. Are they going the double 2-stopper with Lewis? It looks like it. But we did catch Miku in all sorts, spinning. And technical track, you have to concentrate all the time. Very easy to just lose the back end here, or take a curve a little bit too aggressively and put your car really off balance. It looked like Miku just lost the back end coming out of the corner. Maybe a little heavy on the throttle, a bit of spin, and just completely lost the rear end. And these 4 are gapping 5th now. Romy Alonso's losing time to Plebs. Plebs is 1.4 seconds behind Aaron. He wants to get back into that DRS range if he can. And Amazing Hour seems to be pulling out a 10th a lap out of Bullet Boy as well. So Bullet Boy might not have enough pace here to stay with him. High contrast. Having a look at Romy now. Oh, what are they doing? Oh! Very interesting there. Robbie's gone wide. He's not coming around the corner yet, but it looked like Robbie tried to break the toe. By contrast, tried to stay with the toe. And then he didn't really have anywhere to go. He should have just gone past him on the outside, but they both really wanted to take the inside line on that hairpin. And 2 into 1 doesn't go, and High Contrast went on the grass. Lucky to keep it on the track. That's possibly going to be reviewed by the stewards. That was interesting moves there from Robbie Alonso and High Contrast. High Contrast touched the dirt there again. Making a lot of curb on that chicane. Seeing half the drivers liking to take a lot of curb there and the other half don't. Andre, just a little bit of issues coming out of the corner. That's a couple of times we've seen him go really wide. Out of that corner, after the chicane. Romme still having a look at High Contrast. And is this at the point, are those hards going better than the mediums? Now we're at lap 11. Mediums are going to want to pit soonish. If they're going to go medium hards, you're going to want to pit soon. That looks like Miku, and he cuts across him again. Late moves there from Romy. Very interesting considering the other drivers are coming up on him. Almost got a bit of Magnus and Ricardo about it. Magnussen moving late a lot, and they're going right around the outside of each other here. That'll give the Williams driver the inside line, and Romy's had to go very wide under the grass, back onto the track. What's happened to Romy there? He's held the position. We're going to stay with this. Very interesting driving from McLaren. Miku still chasing him down, but they were wheel to wheel for a long part there, and Romy's gone really wide, managed to hold the position because he went so wide. And Jopalainen and Lewis are still close together as well, those two that started on the softs, but we'll stick with this one. If Miku can get close enough to Romy, and Andre's got a 3-second time penalty there. He's struggling with track limits at the moment. Andre going very wide on a few corners. See if he's going to be close enough to have another go at him here, and they're going to resume their battle. Possibly not close enough right now. Might have to give it another lap. Though he is coming. He's catching very quickly. And not on this lap. This will be about 2 seconds between everyone now. Bullet Boy's falling further back to Amazing Hour. As Lewis has passed Shumbo out of the hairpin. Jopalainen wants to look at him as well. Gone very wide. Going to see him come out of the corner here. Gives him enough room, and oh, Shumbo just got very close to the rear left of Jopalainen, but all's well that ends well, and they stay on track, and Jopalainen now is in front of Shumbo and making ground on the rest of the pack, but you can't see this two-stop strategy working out too well for Jopalainen and Lewis here. Miku's still close. This is the battle we want to see at the moment between Miku and Romy Alonso. Let's go on board and lock up there from Romy. Let's see what Miku's looking at when he comes around this straight. Now he's going to come into the pits. He's had enough of those medium tyres. I'm going to try and undercut him, I think. He's decided it's too risky to try and pass the McLaren. He's too reckless. If he can undercut him, that'll work out brilliant for him. He's the first to pit on those medium tyres. The first of the mediums to pit. Lewis and Jopalainen make up some ground there. Shumbo makes up some ground as well. Shumbo starting on the hards, going the alternate strategy there, like High Contrast. They'll be looking to have more pace at the end of the race, probably on the medium tyres. Feeling really good, and you can go extra long on the hards and finish the race on some softs. Shumbo, 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help him out there. And none of these top ones are making up ground. Jopalainen and Lewis are still quite close together. Apologies. That is wrong footage there. I just want to show you the replay. Just in the wrong window, but I want to show you the replay at the start of this race. We will go to that replay just while we've got a bit of a gap between everyone and no one's really close to overtake. We will do that now. And here we go. This is the correct replay of the start of the race. As we can see, little bogged down there. Amazing how I got a bit of wheel spin, but good stuff in the front of the grid. And you can see Robbie Alonso, he's looking for a way through, but there is no way through right at the back there. But apart from that, it was a pretty good start to the race by everyone. And if we stay with this, what you're going to see is Romy get very wild. Oh, that's on the next lap. So on this lap, not too bad. Very wide from the Red Bull, but he makes up a bit of ground. And there it is. There it is. Romy just getting wild on the exit of that corner. Managed to hold it together. And he's been very racy so far this race. We'll head back to the live action though. And John Polainen and Lewis are the closest on track. Everyone else is very spread out now. Amazing has pitted, Bullet Boy's pitted, Plebs has pit as well. Which puts Aaron in the lead of the race. So it looks like around that 13, 14 laps, mediums are falling off. They're all going on hards. High Contrast moves up, considering he started on hards as well. There's some John Polainen, and there are soft runners, and this is where strategies are going to cross into each other. Those blue flags have been waving the entire race. Stewards have no idea what they're doing. I don't know if that's just for us or for that's everyone. It'll be quite confusing, especially if they come up to, it looks like El Tonki, their back marker at the moment. So Aaron stayed out of the mediums. And High Contrast, he started on the hard, so he'll be going another 10 or so laps. Possibly, probably about 7 if we're judging that the mediums are good for 14 laps. He'll probably want to come in around that lap 21, maybe 6 or 7 at High Contrast. Plebs is close to Shumbo here, so Shumbo is the other one that started on halves with High Contrast, and Plebs is he wants to get past Jumbo here, because it's really not worked out for Plebs because he's behind Lewis John Polainen, whereas Amazing Aaron Bullet Boy, they've managed to come out in front of Lewis and John Polainen. So it hasn't worked out for Renault here at all. We'll see where Aaron comes out, and Romy Alonso is pitting too. Let's see where Miku is when Romy Alonso comes out, because I reckon Miku's undercut him here. There's Miku. He's undercut him, so that's one way to get past someone you can't get past or is you're not feeling confident about. It's undercut, and that's what Miku's done, and he's done it successfully there. Plebs has managed to get past Shumbo, and he'll be wanting to chase down Aaron. And he's lost a lot of time there. He's 4.4 seconds now behind Aaron, so he did lose time coming out in that traffic. And Aaron, this is not great for him either. He's come out behind John Polainen and Lewis. They're not where he wants to be in terms of catching Bullet Boy and Amazing Aaron. It looks like those two will gap the rest of the field now, and it'll be a battle for the race win between Amazing Aaron and Bullet Boy. Bullet Boy's 2.4 seconds behind him at the moment. By contrast, provisional leader of this Grand Prix has not pit yet, because we're leaving the tyre graphics up so that you can see it's 16 laps on those hards. And Andre's coming to the pits now, and I feel like a couple of these guys have gone too long. As Amazing Hours past High Contrast, Bullet Boy's going to want to do that next as well. But I feel like a few of these medium runners have gone too long on the mediums. Far too long, and it's going to cost them a lot of time. Now we saw Miku get the undercut on Romy Alonso. He's got 3.4 seconds on him now, so you can see how powerful that is. That was what, 3 laps? 3 laps that Miku undercut Romy Alonso and ended up in 3.5 seconds, so second lap. A lot occurred there, the racing point in Bullet Boy over that chicane. Stay with this because Bullet Boy is going to want to get past the Ferrari as quickly as possible so that he can resume the chase of Amazing Hour. You can see Lewis is 7 seconds behind Bullet Boy. So that double stopper is not going to work, I don't think. It's very close. Go back. Lewis Bullet Boy is not going to get past that contrast here. Not this lap, it's holding him up. Jumpalainen's. They're going to get it done. No, not quite. Yellow flag in sector 1. Who's that? Not sure why we got a yellow flag there. Oh, we'll stay here. Jumpalainen's still close to the back of Lewis. Aaron very close up the back as well. He wants to get past because he's on those hards. Knowing that Lewis and Jumpalainen will need to pit again. And in theory, Lewis wants to get past Bullet Boy. In fact, Bullet Boy is 7 seconds behind High Contrast. I think that was what the flags were for. Did he have an issue? He's lost 7 seconds. We've missed that. Because Lewis was 7 seconds behind him. So yeah, he's lost about 7 seconds. Now he's under pressure. And the two, our pole setter and his partner in crime in Jumpalainen, they've caught him up now. And this has worked out perfectly for Amazing Hour. Oh, Bullet Boy's had to come in. He must have hit the wall. And this is terrible news for Bullet Boy. He must have front wing damage. Oh, unfortunately we missed that on the stream, but he must have damage coming in, and this is in all sorts. Is he going to put another set of hards on? He's probably going to have to. He is, and changing that front wing, and oh, this is disaster for Racing Point. Absolute disaster in the race. Looking good for second position. Little mistake, and now he's down in 9th. He can stay out the rest of the race, but so can everyone else except for Lewis and Jumpalainen, and they were right behind him. So, based on their pace, he might lose out to them as well, even though they have to pit. And he could be looking at no points here. He's 3 seconds behind Andre. And Aaron's still chasing down. Amazing Hour 3 second time penalty. I don't think that's going to matter in the context of things at the end of the race because Bullet Boy's just handed it to him on a platter here. It's so important to concentrate. Little mistakes. So costly, and that's proving that right there. Got more yellow flags. Sectors 1 and 2. Doesn't look like anyone's losing heaps of time. Stay with this one. Bullet Boy issue again. He's gone back under Shumbo Racing. He's crashed out. I think he's crashed out. He's had rush of blood to the head and he's crashed out and he's out of this race. So Bullet Boy from such a commanding position out of the race now. Shumbo got past him and that brings El Tonki. He'll come right up into 11th and he can look for a point now if he wants. And Aaron's got past Lewis while all that was happening, and now he's chasing down Jumpalainen, and Jumpalaine's past Lewis as well, so something's happened there too. We've gone from a lull in action to too much action to cover all in one, but Lewis must have had a moment and gone off the track as well, because he was ahead of Jumpalainen and now he's not. And Aaron's taking advantage of that as well. But Aaron's looking good for a podium here, and Levs would have to be looking good for a podium as well. High Contrast still needs to pit. So, Lev's keeping his nose clean, not really getting stuck in the action. Is going to get a podium here if he races consistently. He's only 3 seconds behind Lewis. He still has to pit while Plebs doesn't. Aaron, after having such a great start and losing a position, just through sheer persistence, he could end up with a second here. But we've seen a few people make mistakes. Pure Gold, Bullet Boy, Donkey, 3-second time penalty. And Miku, so I contrast his pit, so he's coming onto the mediums. David Aaron is right behind John Polainen here. And Lewis has been out on those mediums for 15, and we know they're dropping off now. He's going to have to pit soon. John Polainen's got to start thinking about pitting as well. He used a lot of his soft tyres, so he may not have any softs. He may have one set of fresh softs left if he wants to eke these out and try and go softs, but the way he's losing pace, I think he needs to go back in, get some medium boots on, and then attack who he comes out behind, which could be a contrast looking at the times there. This double stop is not going to work out well at all. Romy Alonso's caught up to Miku. There's only 1.2 seconds behind him now, so all that work of that undercut is Miku's now losing time to Romy. Lewis has pit 15 laps. He's pit now. Let's see where he comes out. That's going to be crucial. But he's going to have pace. Fresh set of mediums. Going to have pace, and he's made life hard for himself here. He's going to have to overtake people at a place where it is difficult to overtake. And he's come out in front of Andre, but behind Eye Contrast, and 10 seconds behind Eye Contrast. So the double stopper has lost out to the hard medium strategy of Eye Contrast as well, unless he can make up 10 seconds, which is unlikely because they're both on the same tyre. Just hasn't worked here today, unfortunately for Ferrari. Lewis. Ferrari split the strategies and in 7th and 8th now. Polainen still holding Aaron off. And Plebs is 5 seconds behind Aaron. Alonso with a 3-second time penalty. But Plebs, if he wants that second place, he's going to have to pick it up a little bit. And Miku's only 2.7 seconds behind Plebs. So it's not cut and dry that Plebs is going to be on the podium here. Not if Miku and Romy have anything to say about it. They seem to have some pace. Now catching. Polainen staying out again. Is he going to go 15 laps like Lewis did? We'll keep an eye on that Lewis time, see if he can bring it down a little bit between himself and Eye Contrast. El Tomki hasn't hit yet either. He's done 20. Oh, did he pit at the start? Possibly pit at the start, so maybe he had an issue at the start of the race. That's why he's done 21 laps out of 23 on the hard, so we missed that during the excitement of the first few laps here in Hungary. And Romy Alonso, and Eye Contrast has caught the back of Romy Alonso here on the mediums, so the mediums are working for Eye Contrast. He wants to overtake this McLaren and then the Williams in front of him, and we've still got 9 laps left. He's making a lot of ground. He may want to have a shot at a podium too. So this is going to come to a crescendo at the end of the race here, with Ferrari on the hunt. So let's watch the Scarlet prancing horse here. Ignore that blue flag, it means nothing. It's been waving all race. As Lewis drops a 1:18.9, fastest lap of the race. Hasn't made too much ground up though. Let's get you an extra point if you're in the top 10, which he is. And all the points matter, especially for Ferrari at the moment, trying to move up the Constructor Championship. Eye Contrast right up the back now, staring straight into the gearbox of the McLaren. And he'll want to get this done. Ooh, very close to the back there. We'll go on board with Eye Contrast as he'll want to get past him on the straight. And we'll bring up the telemetry so we can see what it looks like. Looks like he's on the limit of fuel as well. And managing that well. He's got plenty of ERS, and he'll turn it right up here to try and get past Robbie Alonso. Oh, take it on the inside. Oh, that could have come unstuck a lot there, and that probably compromised his run into that corner. Robbie Alonso going very wide, and rightly so. High Contrast didn't want to lose his front tyre, and some odd lines being taken here into that corner. But Robbie Alonso king of defense at the moment. He's putting his car in the right places to defend. He's going to come back on the inside, a bit of squeezing, just making it very uncomfortable for High Contrast. This is a great view of this battle. We'll stay with it. I don't think 2 into 1 going into this corner, and rightly so. High Contrast backs out, but he's made that ground back up. Ooh, a little bit of grass there. Don't want to touch that inside curb. That will spin you around before you even know what's going on. I mean, also a lot of curb there. Could be on the edge of a penalty as well. So Romy, Miku have been battling most of this race, and High Contrast is now getting himself into the battle as well. Is he going to be close enough this time? He may have to take a different line if Romy's going to try and squeeze him into that wall. He's very close there, a little lock up, very eager to get past. You can see both of them take very different lines in his corner, and this is a bit better exit now from High Contrast. Let's see what happens. Romy's got DRS because of Miku in front of him as well. Using all of the track, all of the straight, try and get it past. He's got it done. And Romy's behind him now, and that was the issue there. You can see Romy's got no ERS left. Possibly using to keep up with Miku, and that was why he caught up. But High Contrast now is on the charge after Miku, and Romy's going to have to go into a little bit of power saving mode and keep that ERS for next time. And not a good place to be when you've got no ERS. Can't really attack and be aggressive. You have to save up for a couple of laps and bide your time. As now High Contrast will be eyeing off Miku. Plebs has fallen away from Aaron. Aaron's still stuck behind John Palainen, doing an amazing job on those medium tyres. And Plebs has fallen away from Aaron as well. So Miku's only 1.5 behind Plebs now. So we can see, we saw the Renault flash in front of Miku there. So Plebs is going to have some work to do. 8 laps left if he wants to hold on to that podium. It looks like we're going to have maybe 3 or 4 drivers going for the podium, going for that 3rd place at the end of this race. Plebs will see in his mirrors now that Miku hunting him down, and High Contrast. Those fresher medium tyres. Now there is going to come a point where those mediums won't work anymore, and that is going to be right at the end. So clock is ticking. The Ferrari, he needs to get these moves done so that when the mediums do drop off a little bit, he does have track position and can try and hold on. Miku's not really making ground now. It's sort of stuck at 1.5, so Plebs lifted his game a little bit. A little bit of ERS to play with. So does Miku though. You can see the car in front of him. This makes you want to go a little bit quicker when you can see the car in front. Then High Contrast. Got a yellow flag in sector 2. I wonder who that is. Aaron very close to John Palainen. And the Ferrari using all of his ERS. Is he going to get the move done here as well? Brakes late. Much later compared to the Williams. Is the Williams going to cut back? He's trying to. I don't think he's going to be able to catch him though and get it done. Those tyres make all the difference. It's a little later, but High Contrast has got track position. He's going to hold on to that. And that moves him up in the provisional 4th. Unless John Palainen is going, you know what, I can make these mediums work the entire race. If that's the case, hats off to you, my friend, because that is an outstanding effort, and the way he's going, it could be the way. El Tonki crashed, so that must have been that yellow flag. El Tonki out of the race. Amazing hour out in front, no ERS, but he is cruising 16, 17 seconds ahead of John Polainen. But Aaron and John Polainen, they're the battle at the moment. And is John Polainen just going to stay out on the mediums? You can see that's moving around a little bit there. Those tyres would have to be cooked. Can Aaron get it done this turn? We'll stay on board. Not quite this time. John Polainen able to brake so late into that chicane. Aaron not able to get it done. Some expert driving here from John Polainen. Oh, and El Tonki. Oh, that is a ghost. So that freaked out Aaron a little bit. Freaked me out as well. It's cost him a little bit of time actually. Be able to catch back up, but John Polainen defending for his life now. 6 laps left, and based on what I'm seeing here, he's decided he can go soft medium and he can make it work to the end of the race. As I contrast, second down on Plevs. Tommy Alonso behind Miku, but the next battle here is going to be for the podium. iContrast and Plebs, and iContrast has made this alternate strategy of hards onto mediums work for him today. That's for sure. Romy Alonso, the penalty is going to cost him big time. I don't think he'll be able to catch up on anyone, even if he passes him. Huge lock up there from iContrast. Massive lock up. That'll hurt his tyres. And he's within DRS. Does appear to be open. Gonna want to make a move on Plebs. Plebs is gonna have to defend here. We'll stick with this battle. May stay like this for the next lap, but he's gonna be under a lot of pressure. Aaron has got past John Polainen while that was happening. Probably down into that hairpin. And John Polainen's tyres probably cooked, but he has 4.8 seconds between him and Plebs. So I keep saying the battle for the podium is Plebs and iContrast, but John Polainen just hasn't come in, so I think if he can keep them on the track, keep his all 4 wheels on the track, he'll hold that podium. A great drive, a great alternate strategy from John Polainen. I was expecting him to come in the entire race, and he's stayed out on the mediums. If he had to come in, we could see what happened to Lewis. He's down in 8th and well back in 8th. So staying out and just holding on, managing your tyres, looks like it's worked here for John Polainen. Here we go, iContrast on Plebs. DRS, Plebs defending the inside. He's going to make iContrast go all the way around the outside, but that Ferrari is too fast on those medium tyres. And that moves iContrast up into 4th. Now, can he catch John Polainen in 4 laps? I don't think he can. 4.7 gap. And Miku's now having a look at Plebs as well, so points on the line here. There's going to be some battles all over the place in these last 4 laps. Lewis got a 3-second time penalty as well, so some of the penalties are racking up for a few of these guys. And we can see now there, Aaron, now that he has gotten past John Polainen, he's pulling away. Those tyres have to be on their last legs, but iContrast isn't making up over a second a lap. He's only made up, what, half a second this lap? I don't know if he can catch John Polainen in a great drive. Obviously been practicing, doing a lot of testing, and he's going to make this work. Knew that he could do soft mediums and still have the pace against these other guys to get it done, and he's got it done here today. So just once again showing that there are other methods, other ways than the standard way. I understand he's got a little bit of a different setup to everyone as well, so that may be tuned in the tyre saving mode as well. So a lot of practice, a lot of effort has gone into thinking about this strategy. Amazing Hour clearly out in front now. It has been most of the race. About 19 seconds to Aaron, who's in second, who's put in a great drive again for Red Bull. Really showing his chops. He doesn't have the extreme qualifying pace that some of these other guys have, but he has that consistent race pace, which is crucial to getting yourself points on race day. Don't win races in qualifying, but you win them during the race. That's what he's doing here today. As we see, Plebs, Miku is in DRS, but they all have DRS at the moment, so maybe if Plebs can hold off Miku. That's going to be the question here. By contrast, has pulled that gap down to 3.5 from Jumpalainen, but I think Jumpalainen is going to be able to hold on. Hopefully he doesn't have an off on those tyres. Got to keep the pace up enough without going off. Tommy Alonso has a 3-second time penalty and he's dropped right off Miku, so he must have had a moment. They're still under pressure from the Williams. Jumbo with the 3-second time penalty. He's going to pick himself up a point. He's actually only 2.8 behind Andre. This is where the closest cars are on track. High contrast Plebs and Miku. They all seem to be stuck in this time bracket here at the moment though. I don't think. Unless something changes, going to get past. And the bad thing for Miku is that Plebs is getting DRS every lap off high contrast, making it so much harder for Miku to pass Plebs down the straight. Working out perfectly for Renault. Miku very close now this lap. Is he going to be close enough to get it done? And Miku has nearly 50% ERS and Plebs is nearly out, so he's been using his ERS to hold on, and Miku has been able to escape with not using all of it. And the Renault farming ERS all it's worth at the moment. He needs it to hold off this Williams down this next straight. Contrast down to 2.6 seconds, but we're on the final lap now for Amazing Hour. What a brilliant drive. I mean, standard from Amazing Hour, but also a brilliant drive from the other podium, Aaron and Jumpalainen. Jumpalainen pulling out a rabbit from his top hat, and Aaron very consistent, very racy at the start, made up great ground at the start. And Plebs using every inch of that battery to stay ahead of the Williams, and it looks like he may be able to hold that position because the Williams, it's going to be very tough to overtake for the rest of this lap. Or is it? Or is it? They're side by side now. He's made a dive. He's made an effort to do that. And he's got it done. Has he got it done? Great driving. He's managed to get that overtake done. I didn't expect it. Gone a little bit wide there, but he has moved up into 5th. Plebs maybe caught him a little bit by surprise as well. As Amazing Hour, he's about to go across the checkered flag. We'll stay with our race leader, winner of the Hungarian Grand Prix, right near the pit wall. And that's the end of the race for Amazing Hour. Aaron, our second place driver, really consistent, really good drive. Very well done. Some good overtakes in the middle, or the start to middle of that race, and he's done very well for a second place. And then jump a line and on those tyres, hanging on for dear life because there's our contrast chasing him down as well. But he stays on the podium as Miku comes across. Levs into 6. Miku got that overtake done right at the death on the last lap. Well done to him. That's the end of this race. Amazing hour, Aaron and John Polina. It's been a great race. Saw some alternate strategies. If you could take something out of that yourself. Really, really well done from all our drivers here today. Hope you enjoyed that race. I certainly did. We had a lot of action right at the start. Little lull, then some action coming to the end of the race. Especially on that last lap. Miku getting it done over Plevs. But another winner's trophy for Amazing Hour. The Alfa Romeo driver, they'll extend their lead at the top because Renault and Racing Point could not get it done today. Good points for Renault though, they'll extend over Racing Point. Definitely, as we'll go to our standings before we finish the stream. There are race results. Amazing Hour at the top. Aaron, John Polina, no contrast. Good points for Ferrari. Miku and the Williams, but Renault looked like the real winner here today into the Constructors' Championship. In terms of that battle, although John Polina in the Haas has got good points for Haas too. Bullet Boy Costly down there in 12th for the Racing Point. Hope you enjoyed today's race. See you next week. Thank you again.